The chandelier above them glittered like a constellation trapped in glass, throwing shards of light across the cathedral-sized hall. Over 5,000 guests sat packed into the pews, politicians in tailored suits, old-money aristocrats wearing pride-like jewelry, and women in extravagant geli headpieces that rose like vibrant crowns. The orchestra had just finished a soft, elegant flourish. The air still carried the scent of lilies, incense, and expectation. Marriott stood at the altar glowing flawlessly. Her wedding dress shimmered under the lights, a waterfall of diamonds and silk cascading around her figure. Her smile could have been carved onto porcelain, controlled, polished, and perfect. David stood beside her, hands clasped gently in front of him. He looked calm, too calm. His eyes held a quiet storm no one had yet noticed. Reverend Father Roland lifted the microphone, and his cassock swaying softly. "Hi, thanks for stopping by on our Cinematic Universe channel. If you're enjoying this episode, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Drop a comment below and let us know where you're watching from." The chapel hall shimmered under 1,000 golden lights, each bulb reflecting off the polished marble floor like scattered stars. The air was thick with the scent of fresh lilies, incense, and expensive perfumes, an aroma reserved for weddings of the wealthy and well-connected in the society. Over 5,000 guests filled the auditorium-sized hall, politicians, business moguls, influencers, alumni of old European schools, and family members in colorful headgear that rose like crowns in the crowd. The room hummed with whispered excitement, a soft orchestra playing classical strings beneath the murmured conversations. Then the music faded. Reverend Father Roland, dignified in his flowing cassock and silver-rimmed glasses, stepped toward the altar. His voice carried the warmth of a man who had seen hundreds of weddings, but today, there was a seriousness in his tone that commanded full attention. "We have come to one of the most important parts of today's ceremony," he began, turning to the couple with a gentle smile. "The I do is more than poetry or tradition. It is the legal confirmation of your marriage contract, and your binding covenant." He paused, letting the weight of his words settle over the hall. David shifted nervously on his feet. Marriott's hand remained tucked in his, and her smile calm, perfect, almost too perfect. Father Roland turned to the guests. His voice rose, echoing across the chandeliers and marble. "Is there anyone here who believes these two should not be lawfully wedded?" There was frozen silence. Not the casual silence of polite wedding guests, but a frozen, breath-held stillness. The women in their vibrant head ties, who had been fanning themselves moments ago, stopped mid-motion. The fans hovered in the air like props paused in a film. A baby's cry somewhere in the back was quickly muffled. No one moved. No one dared speak. The priest cleared his throat and repeated slowly, more firmly, "If anyone has an objection to this union, now is the time to speak up, or forever hold your peace." Another silence, so deep it hummed. Then David inhaled sharply, stepped forward, and said, in a voice louder than anyone expected from the soft-spoken groom, "I do." His words echoed around the vaulted hall. Several guests blinked, startled. David had never been the bold type, never loud, and never confrontational. His shyness was part of his charm. But the moment he spoke, something shifted. Instead of letting the priest continue, David reached into the inner pocket of his suit and pulled out a small memory stick. He handed it to Father Roland with steady, deliberate hands. "Please," he said. "Kindly project it on the screen for our guests. Now please." A ripple of unease swept through the hall. Marriott's smile quivered. A flicker of something, fear, annoyance, crossed her face. Father Roland hesitated, confused. "David, my son, this is highly unusual." "Perhaps." "Please, Father," David insisted. "It's important. For everyone." The priest looked at him closely, searching his eyes for clarity or calm. What he saw instead was a quiet determination, a man who had made peace with whatever storm he was about to unleash. He handed the memory stick to the technician beside the projector. The giant cinematic screen behind the altar flickered to life. At first, the hall erupted in warmth and laughter. The first clip showed David and Marriott on holiday, running along a cobbled street in Paris, teasing each other, and laughing breathlessly. Another clip flashed onto the screen, Marriott's father, in full traditional attire, praying passionately over the couple during their extravagant engagement ceremony 3 weeks earlier. The crowd smiled, murmured, and cheered. Then the next video began. The laughter died instantly. The hall grew deathly still. On screen, the camera angle changed to a dimly lit bedroom, unfamiliar to most, but painfully familiar to one person standing at the altar. Marriott's face went pale. There she was, unmistakably, lying in bed with another man. Whispering. Laughing softly. And talking about their ongoing affair. Talking about how they would continue, even after the wedding. A tremor moved through the congregation, an electric shock of disbelief. People gasped. Hands flew to mouths. One elderly woman staggered in her seat. Marriott reached out to the priest's lectern for balance, her legs suddenly unsteady. Her pupils dilated. Her glamorously painted lips trembled as she whispered, "David, please, stop." But it was too late. The entire hall, over 5,000 people, had seen it. David stood still, emotionless, staring ahead at the screen as though he were watching someone else's life fall apart. Only the faint trembling of his fingers exposed the depth of his pain. The priest, shaken and embarrassed, made the sign of the cross involuntarily. The man beside Marriott in the video laughed again, on screen, whispering something intimate into her ear. A soft murmur grew louder and louder through the hall. Shock. Anger. Embarrassment. Curiosity. And whispers rising like an approaching storm. David finally exhaled, long, tired, almost relieved. "So," he said quietly, his voice breaking, "before God and before men, we are not legally married. But the truth must be known." He turned to Marriott. And in that moment, the world held its breath. Amid the pandemonium, David remained eerily calm, too calm. His chest rose and fell slowly. His eyes didn't shine with anger or tears. They were empty. Detached. And resolved. He reached into his suit pocket again. This time, he pulled out his smartphone. Marriott's mother spotted him and screamed, "David, please. For the love of God, stop this. Stop." He didn't. With a slow, deliberate motion, he unlocked his phone. His thumb moved to Instagram. Then TikTok. He went straight into Settings Privacy Account. And with one tap, the button turned from private to public. His followers instantly jumped. 10,000. 28,000. 52,000. 100,000. And comments began flooding in even before he posted anything. Then he opened his drafts. Dozens of videos. Screenshots. Voice notes. CCTV stills. Exported WhatsApp chats. Dates. Receipts. More recordings. Evidence. Painful evidence. He tapped Post All. The apps began uploading automatically, his wedding hall having some of the fastest Wi-Fi in the country, courtesy of his billionaire father. Within seconds, the hall filled with screams again, not from the projector this time, but from the guests watching their phones. Notifications pinged like machine guns firing. David.official posted 27 new videos. David.official posted a story. David.official is live. David.official posted 54 messages. A bridesmaid cried out, "Oh my God. Over 5 million views already?" A groomsman yelled, "My bro is trending worldwide." Someone shouted, "He turned everything public. Every single thing." Instagram servers shook. TikTok numbers exploded. The whole internet outside the hall began vibrating as millions discovered the scandal in real time. On screen, comments scrolled at impossible speed. Marriott cheated? The groom posted everything. I saw the video. OMG. This wedding is history. David just ended her career. No way, who is the other man? Security rushed toward David. His best man tried to grab his phone. David, stop. This is too much. Please. David pulled back, his voice cold, calm, and controlled. He said, no. They wanted a marriage. They will get the truth. He lifted his chin, staring at Marriott lying unconscious in her mother's arms. For richer, for poorer, he whispered. For better, for worse, but not like this. He turned away from her. Turned his back fully. And walked off the altar. The cameras followed him. The world followed him. And in that single walk, through a hall full of shattered silence and burning whispers, David became the most talked-about groom in the country. Hi, thanks for stopping by on our Cinematic Universe channel. If you're enjoying this episode, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Drop a comment below and let us know where you're watching from. To be continued in the next episode. The scandal detonated like a bomb. One moment, the hall was glowing with chandeliers and laughter. The next, those same chandeliers trembled from the collective gasp slicing through the air. Phones slipped from hands, fans fell silent, and whispers burst like sparks across the room. At the front pew, Marriott lay unconscious, her wedding dress spilling around her like melted ivory, delicate layers pooling on the floor as though mourning with her. Her mother and aunt knelt beside her, screaming her name through cracked, frantic voices. The world and the chaos spun too fast. Too loud, too merciless. Guests hovered between shock and spectacle, their faces caught between horror and curiosity. Whispers burned through the hall. Judging. Filming. And posting. The humiliation spread in real time, viral before tragedy even had a moment to breathe. And David stood frozen in the center of it all. Chest heaving. Eyes wild. Anger, guilt, and fear, all twisting into something unrecognizable. He didn't move. Because he couldn't. Because everything, and everything, was about to change. Hi, thanks for stopping by our Cinematic Universal channel. If you're enjoying this episode, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more high-stakes storytelling. Drop a comment below and tell us where you're watching from, we'd love to hear from you. Meanwhile in the hospital room, hours later. The room was white. Sterile, silent, and cold in a way that made the air feel heavier. The faint scent of disinfectant clung to the room like guilt. Marriott lay motionless on the bed, a thin line of oxygen tubing pressed to her cheek. Her skin, usually radiant, warm, and lively, now looked drained. Translucent. And fragile. Her fingers twitched weakly beneath the stiff hospital blanket. Her mother sat beside her, shoulders trembling, quietly crying into a tissue she'd shredded into pieces. David stood by the doorway, afraid to come closer. Afraid to touch her. Afraid to breathe. He stopped the doctor to ask how Marriott was doing. The doctor's voice haunted him, not looking good. He said. Then continued. Severe shock. Her body shut down under emotional trauma. She will wake up, but the emotional damage will take far longer to heal. He felt the words deep in his bones, as the doctor hurriedly walked away with the waiting nurses. I did this. David muttered. Not the video. Not the guests. Not the twin he didn't know existed. Tears streaming down his face. Flashback, minutes earlier. David had been pacing the cold hospital corridor for hours. His shirt was wrinkled, his tie hung loose like a noose of regret. He replayed the ceremony in painful loops, the clip. The gasps. Marriott collapsing. Her dress hitting the marble floor. Each memory cut deeper than the last. His phone buzzed in his hand. He ignored it. He didn't have the strength for more outrage, or pity. But the buzzing persisted. Sharp. Demanding. He exhaled, agitated, and glanced at the screen. Marriott, incoming video call. His breath caught. She was unconscious in a hospital bed. Who was calling? He swiped to answer. The screen brightened, revealing two smiling faces. A woman. And man. Laughing. Cheerful. Completely unaware of the devastation consuming his world. David froze. The woman looked exactly like Marriott. Same face. Same eyes. And the same smile. But not the same woman. Her hair was shorter, freer. Her energy wild, untamed, the opposite of Marriott's calm elegance. Hi, the woman beamed. Is Marriott there? We promised we'd call today. David swallowed. Hard. There's been an incident, he whispered. She's in the hospital. The woman's smile disintegrated. Why is Marriott in the hospital? What happened? Her voice shook. The man beside her leaned forward, concerned. David's fingers trembled. Who are you? He asked. Oh, sorry. She wiped a tear from the corner of her eye. I'm Maya. Marriott's twin sister. The word hit him like a slap. Twin. The name Marriott never mentioned. The sister he never knew existed. And this is my boyfriend, Ricky, Maya added, pulling him into frame. David's stomach dropped. That face. He had seen that face before. Not here. Not now. But on that screen. In that video. In their wedding hall. Ricky. Marriott's lover. The man from the clip. His jaw tightened so hard it hurt. Maya frowned. David? What's wrong? He swallowed a lump of dread. Where are you calling from? We are calling from Rotterdam, she said. We moved here last year. Marriott knows. We promised to call today because we couldn't attend. Rotterdam. The Netherlands. The exact background from the video. David's lungs collapsed on themselves. Maya continued, still oblivious, we tried calling her yesterday too, just to wish her luck. I even sent her that silly video Ricky and I made at the hotel last spring, the one she laughed about. She chuckled nervously. Honestly, it was embarrassing. But she said it cracked her up. David felt sick. His hands shook violently. That video, he whispered. The one in the hotel. The one you sent her. Maya nodded, confused. Yes, why? His voice cracked open. I played it at our wedding. Silence. Then. Maya's face turned ghost white. Ricky staggered backward. What do you mean? She whispered. David's eyes glistened with raw devastation. I thought it was her, he said. I thought Marriott cheated on me. I thought I was watching my fiancé betray me. Maya screamed. David, no. 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 That was me. Maya. Not my sister. Ricky cursed violently in Dutch. What the hell is wrong with you? He snapped at David. You exposed her? You exposed your own wife? Maya leaned so close to the camera her tears blurred the screen. She didn't cheat on you, she cried. She would never cheat on you. She only watched that video because she missed me, because she trusted me, because she loved you too much to judge me. We are twin. Maya said. And we are identical, David. The world shattered. Maya's voice broke. She kept my existence a secret because she was ashamed of our past, not because she was hiding anything from you. David's back hit the wall. The phone slipped from his hand. "David," Maya sobbed. "What have you done?" He sank to the floor, body trembling uncontrollably. He had destroyed the woman who loved him. Humiliated her. Exposed her. Crushed her spirit. Ruined her name. Over a video that wasn't even hers. "David," Maya whispered, voice shaking, "you broke your wife. She did nothing wrong." Before he could respond, nurses sprinted past him. Sirens blared. A code was called. It was an emergency response requested in Marriott's room. David ran towards the room. And everything inside him shattered. David breaks completely. David stumbled into the room. Machines beeped violently. Nurses crowded the bed. Marriott lay pale and lifeless again. He collapsed beside her, taking her cold hand into his shaking fingers. Her eyelids fluttered faintly, but she didn't wake. Marriott didn't squeeze his hand. Didn't move. Marriott swallowed, her gaze anxiously searching the room. "David," she whispered. Before her mother could respond, the doctor stepped in, somber, clipboard pressed to his chest, his expression the kind that stole hope before words arrived. "Mrs. Reed," he said softly, addressing Marriott. "I'm afraid we have some difficult news." Marriott stiffened. Her mother gripped her hand tightly. David, standing at the foot of the bed, looked like a ghost. Eyes swollen. Hands trembling. Silent. The doctor exhaled. "I'm so sorry, but you lost the pregnancy." The world stopped. Marriott's breath shattered. "No," she whispered. Her hands moved instinctively to her stomach. It was empty. And gone. A life she had carried quietly, protectively, and lovingly. "No, no, no." Her voice cracked into a raw, agonizing sob. Her mother collapsed into tears beside her. David staggered backward, as if struck. He pressed a hand over his mouth to stop the sound threatening to tear free. She lifted her head, tears streaming. "You knew?" she asked her mother. Her mother shook her head. "She didn't tell me either, sweetheart." Marriott's voice trembled as she spoke, each word sharp with grief. "I was going to surprise David on his birthday. I wanted it to be special. A new beginning. A family, our baby." She broke down completely, her body curling inward as her heart collapsed in on itself. David took a step forward. "Marriott, please. I'm so sorry. If I had known." She cut him off, her voice sharp as shattered glass. "This wasn't because of the video. This was because of you." The words stripped him bare. Tears streamed down her face. "I trusted you with my life, David. With my heart. With my body. And with my child." Her voice shook violently. "And instead, you destroyed everything in one moment." David fell to his knees, sobbing. The room shook with the weight of their collective grief. Her mother spoke quietly through tears. "David, trust and communication are the backbone of marriage. And you shattered both before your marriage even began." David bowed his head, breaking fully. For the first time that day, he allowed himself to truly feel the depth of what he had done. David's impulsive exposure. His public humiliation of Marriott. His viral broadcasts. Became too powerful to undo. Even if Marriott healed physically, the emotional devastation was etched too deep. The world didn't know the truth. And even once they did, they wouldn't care. She wasn't the betrayer. He was. David whispered one final truth through his tears. "I didn't just break her heart, I broke her life. And we lost our baby." David said, tears streaming down his face. And the tragedy hung heavy in the room like a storm that refused to pass. To be continued. Please like, share and subscribe.